This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I wanted to cover this because there's a new series coming out talking about the Freemasons. And like I always say, they are coming out of the shadows into the light. This is a propaganda documentary because they realize that the heat is on, that people such as myself and many others out there who have been doing a great job in exposing the New World Order, talking about the Freemasons' involvement, talking about the fake Jews, the Zionist Jews' involvement, the Vatican's involvement, the Jesuits, all of this stuff. And what they're doing is they're coming out of the dark into the light, and they're shining light on themselves, but they're twisting truth because this is the same thing that they constantly have to do. They know that they have to address these things. So they come out and they address it and they say, look, we're not so bad. It's no big deal. You know, what this is, what Freemasonry really is it's a networking, secret networking system where people become friends with one another and they help each other out in tough times. They make it sound like the Boy Scouts, for crying out loud. But what they don't reveal to you is the things that they're taught. What they do is they try to shine light on things like the secret handshakes and make a mockery of it and say, it's not a big deal. It's something we just do during certain rituals and rites in our movement. It's no different than, a club handshake. It's not what these people make it out to be. Oh, sure. Oh, and the symbols and the signs. Oh, right. The signs and symbols that are everywhere that they use. We're all supposed to believe that it's nothing, that it's just, just a bunch of guys having a good time, just a fraternity, right? And sadly, our society looks at it that way, but it is the biggest scam you'll ever see because these people are Satanists at the core. The teachings that they read inside of the Masonic lodges, they're not talking about that in this documentary. They're not talking about the things that Albert Pike or Manly P. Hall teach. Here's a quote from Manly P. Hall, someone whose readings they read inside the Masonic lodges. When the Mason learns that the key to the warrior on the block is the proper application of the dynamo of living power, he has learned the mystery of his craft. The seething energies of Lucifer are in his hands. And before he may step onward and upward, he must prove his ability to properly apply energy. Does that sound like something normal, that it's just a bunch of boys being boys? Look at these lowlife Freemasons right here. This was released by Freemasonry Today as they're bragging about this documentary back in February that's coming out. Look at what they're wearing. Do you see the pentagram, which I constantly talk about, right inside the Masonic compass? Oh, no, they just like stars, right? It's there by coincidence. Or the sun worship on this guy's kilt or whatever he's wearing, his smock, his bib. Got grown men wearing these out. These are grown men. Look what they're wearing here. Probably got diapers on underneath it. Embarrassing. Look at these guys wearing their white gloves. These guys are responsible for all of the wrongs in our world, for the wars, for the famine, for the disease that comes from chemtrails and the dumping of chemicals on us and our foods. All of this connects through the Masonic lodges because that is the basis of this. This is the base root of it. It goes through Masonry, up through the Jews, the fake Jews, through the Vatican. And they sit here and they go, oh, listen to some of this propaganda. This is what, we have the Daily Mail talking about it like it's great. We've got Freemason Today talking about it like it's great. It says they don't ride goats, but they do have to bear one breast and roll a trouser leg up. They're not meant to use their friendships for career gain, but they do have a strange handshake. And they don't appear to be striving for world domination. They're far too busy learning lines for their countless ceremonies. Give me a break. Who's buying into that? Oh, okay, so they have strange handshakes. They're not doing it for career gain. Everyone who's a Freemason networks and helps one another out. They control everything. All these people in politics are Masons. And they're high-ranking Masons. They're not third degree. They're 33rd degree Masons. It says the Freemasons have long been seen as a shadowy organization accused of plotting to take over the world. Well, let me put it to you this way. Anything that's usually done in secret probably isn't a good thing. When you're doing stuff secretly, think about things you've done in secret. Is it usually a good thing to do things in secret? Because if you're doing stuff in secret, you're hiding things. If you're having secret meetings, you're probably hiding things because you don't want other people to know about it, that you're scheming and what you're up to and what you're plotting. What does the Bible tell us about this? All we have to do is look at Ephesians 5:11. Have no fellowship with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. For it is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret. What they're doing in secret. Reprove them. Why are they doing it in secret? Take a guess why. Oh, because they just want to, be a cool little club like a frat. But this society's so dumbed down. And yeah, you can blame the chemicals. You can blame the technology that people think that this is normal. Oh, plotting for world domination. Who would do that? They only hint at that theme in every movie ever. It's only human nature for really bad human beings to want to control everything, to control the wealth and the resources of the world. Why would anyone want to do that? Why would anyone want to do that? Instead, people would rather work at Target, for 40 hours a week to make $400 a week. These people would never want to gain access over all this stuff. Nobody thinks. It says the pedigree of some past Masons, including Winston Churchill, the Duke of Wellington, and a bunch of other douchebags who I don't even read their names, for more than 60 years have even led to accusations that they have a stranglehold on the establishment. Oh, you think? It says the documentary about this enigmatic fraternity is fascinating. The public's perception of us isn't realistic at all, says Jonathan Spence. The former banker is one of 3 deputies to the Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England. Oh, so, yeah, it's no big deal. We got 56-year-old men who are reading things such as this. This is what they're taught. This is what they follow. Manly P. Hall, I hereby promise the Great Spirit, Lucis, the Prince of Demons, that each year I will bring unto him a human soul to do with as it may please with him. And in return, Lucifuge promises to bestow upon me the treasures of the earth and fulfill my every desire for the length of my natural life. This is no big deal. It's for Manly P. Hall, but I can get an Albert Pike because they are all of them that go through here have to read Morals and Dogma. Lucifer, the light bearer, strange and mysterious name to give the spirit of darkness. Lucifer, the son of the morning. It is he who bears the light, and with its splendors, intolerable blinds, feeble, sensual, and selfish souls. Doubt it not. The true name of Satan, the Kabbalah say, is Yahweh, reversed, for Satan is not a black god, but a negation of God. The Kabbalah imagined him to be a most occult light. So you have Pike teaching that Lucifer is the light, and that Jesus is bad, that our Father is bad. That's what they're teaching here. But that's no big deal, right? This is normal stuff. This is just boys being boys, playing dress up. We got 50-year-old men wearing white gloves like they're Michael Jackson, wearing quilts with pentagrams on it, wearing bibs. 60-year-old men. Give me a break. You don't think this connects to the pedo rings and all this other stuff? I already talked about these other branches of Masonry and the stuff that they do. We've talked many times on this channel about the Shriners, grown men dressing up as clowns. No big deal, right? The readings inside of these books that they read about world domination, Pike's comments about World War III, do I even need to get into that? And about controlling people's minds, controlling the world? This is what it's about. But they need to pump out this propaganda because we've all caught on. And there's people like myself and many others out there who are exposing them. And that's why YouTube is now blocking channels like this and others from making a nickel off of here because they want to take our time away from researching this and studying it and getting the information out. They want us back in the matrix so we don't have time to read and research and do this stuff. But what they will do is they'll send out some fake alternative right people who are all part of the mainstream media who have been bought and paid for by our government, or should I say their government, to come here and push disinformation, to not talk about the fake Jews, to not talk about the Vatican, to not talk about the Freemasons, to act like Donald Trump is a savior, to pretend that this is a republic when it's not. That's what's going on. And that's why we're counting on you, the listeners out there, to stay with us. Do not fall into this trap of going away from channels like this or others out there and starting to listen to the Cernoviches and the Siemens of this world because they're toxic. They have been put here to lead you astray. And I guarantee you, YouTube will continue to fund them. They will continue to fund channels like that because this is stuff that they will not get deep into. They might mention it here and there, like Alex Jones will mention it, but give me a break. We all know who these people are working for. This is COINTELPRO at its finest. The Grand Lodge is celebrating its 300th anniversary this year, so the documentary series comes at an appropriate time. Freemasonry has a policy of more openness over the past 30 years to try to show people what we're really about. So you see, they know how dumbed down society is now. Because if this stuff came out into the light 100 years ago, 200 years ago, like I always say, the Little House on the Prairie days, this would not have been allowed to go on. They would have been run out of town. This would have been like when people discovered witches, what they did to them. You know why they reveal themselves over the last 30 years? Not because they go, well, we need to reveal ourselves because, people have a bad perception of us. No, because people were catching on. People were exposing them, like Bill Cooper and many other people, Ted Gunderson. People were exposing the satanic circles and Freemasonry's involvement, even before them. And then they realized, wow, well, society is so stupid, we could just go out there and twist anything and deflect attention off of it because we know how mind control works. And that's what they do. They deflect everything, and they make a joke of everything. So they bring attention to this, but they're not going to tell you about these teachings. They're going to go, okay, we have secret handshakes. I get it. People think it's weird. Here's why we do it. And they're going to give you lies about why they do it. And people are going to go, oh, so that's why. What's the big deal? People on YouTube, all these other people out there are crazy to think they're doing anything else. No, you're just naive if you believe in this crap. Because we are so close to exposing them around the world. But unfortunately, they're trying to cut us off at every turn. And you know what else they're trying to do? They're trying to brainwash the people who are already dumbed down enough into believing more stuff that's not real. So they'll shine light on themselves, but they'll lead attention away from truth. So now that they're admitting to doing that, they even go on to say Freemasonry was originally based on the guilds created by stonemasons in the 14th century. Many of the traditions go back to those days. The bearing of the breast and rolled up trouser leg, both part of the initiation ceremony, are meant to prove the newcomer is a healthy man. I want to talk about the ceremony where a grown man gets in his tighty whities, his skimpies, gets down on his knees and blindfolded, and you hold a sword up to his throat and make him swear to an oath that he can never leave the brotherhood or he'll be murdered. Talk about that. And I don't know what's more embarrassing, the fact that we got grown men swearing to oaths of getting murdered over being in this, pretty homosexual brotherhood, or the fact that these guys are getting down in their underwears. Like that's necessary? Why are these grown men getting down in their underwear? Probably got skid marks in the back. Why are they doing that? Little sick, don't you think? Couldn't he wear his regular outfit? Couldn't he have a suit on? Couldn't he have jeans on? He's got to get down in his underwear? Yeah, I understand mind control. It's just part of the humiliation tactic and the belittling, but still. A lot of homosexual tendencies going on in these Masonic circles, boys. I'll tell you that much. Disgusting. Makes me so sick what they're doing and what they're trying to do right now. Looking at these guys in their little outfits. Look at these guys. Think they would have got away with this stuff 100 years ago? Anyone who sees guys wearing this stuff dressed like this should be in their face. They should. Look at them. Look at this. Look at those smirks in their faces. Guys wearing a smock. I mean, he's got a necklace. I mean, this is embarrassing. This is the world we live in. And nobody goes, oh, well, these people are, dictating things, controlling things. How come all these world leaders are Freemasons? How come, the only way to get in the club and go to the Bilderberg meetings or Bohemian Grove is to be a Mason? What a coincidence. And all these actors and celebrities and musicians are all Masons. Oh, must be a coincidence. It's the smart people out there join the Masonic lodges and, they work hard and get to the top. Give me a break with this crap. I've had enough of it. It says the basic tenets of the Masons are that they're all equal. Remember the tenets, where we hear that, right? That word, the tenets of the satanic church, using that word, which is why they call each other brother. And that today, instead of working with stone, they're working on themselves to make good men better. Yeah, what they're doing is they're making men into jokes. They're making men into Satanists. They're making men into scumbags. It says as they work harder on themselves through charitable work, for example, they climb up the hierarchy. Oh, charitable work? Right, charitable work, such as the thing that I talked about, where they want children's DNA tested at all times. Don't know if anybody remembers that video I did. The Masonic child identification programs, where they're tricking parents into giving, their DNA to the Masons in case they get kidnapped or something like that. I mean, nothing shady about that. No big deal. No big deal. It says each man goes through 3 separate degrees during his time with the Masons: apprentice, journeyman, and master. And for the first time, some of the rituals which take place in Masonic Lodge meetings around the country have been filmed. Actually, they've been filmed. You could see some of the actual real ceremonies on YouTube, or probably not for much longer, though, before they pull them all. It says the ceremonies mirror the principles of Freemasonry, which are brotherly love, relief, and truth. Right, like I said, guy in his underwear with a knife up to his throat. Yeah, that's real normal. Nothing weird about that. It says membership here peaked at 300,000 after the First World War as men joined to recreate the brotherhood they'd found in the trenches. This is how it all really became what it is now. Because after the First War, after all this was set up in Israel with the Rothschilds, everything went full force. Okay? You could have worked at a grocery store in the 1940s, 1950s and been a homeowner. Now you can make 150 grand a year and you can't buy a home. You got to have both people in the house working. I mean, it's unbelievable. But what they did was they spoiled everyone. They spoiled our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our parents. They gave them, it was easy to buy a home and get loans and all this stuff because they distracted them. They were setting this up. The industrial age was nothing but a distraction. They gave wealth to people. They created the debt system so people eventually would be in debt. And if they weren't in debt, their kids would be in debt because they would teach them to live the same type of lifestyle. Okay. Now, like I said, you can't even buy a home on a high income. Back then, you could be bagging groceries and be a homeowner. The whole industrial age was set up so they could set up this new world order. And that's what they've done. That's what David Rockefeller was doing. That's what the Rothschilds were doing. And yes, this has been, they've been trying to set this up for a long time, but it really ramped up with the industrial age. So this article just goes on to talk about how, there's really a networking system is pretty much what it says. It says the Freemasons may be a traditional institution, but it's also a major support network for men. And I was taken aback by that. Oh, isn't that sweet? Disgusting. Taken aback by that? Yeah, I'm taken aback about how dumb people are if they buy this stuff. I'm taken aback by how sick people are for joining this homosexual institution that is the Freemasonry. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful. And they've made us slaves to them. But not much longer, because we're going to fight back. We're not going to be slaves to their system anymore. They can continue to try to push us around and to demonetize our channels. Well, I'm working to take care of that. I got big news coming in the next couple of weeks, and I apologize for not making as many videos as I normally do. I love making daily videos, but when I get into something, I go full throttle. I go as hard as I can. So I'm working on something and putting all my effort into that right now to get it done as fast as possible. Project that will probably take 6 months. I'm trying to do it in 4 weeks. I'm trying to get it done. I'm trying to create something so that none of us lose our connection with each other, that we can constantly continue to awake. We can do more. I can do more. You can do more. And we can stick it back to them because they are trying to shut everyone down. And they are putting plants in the alt-right movement, and it's a joke. And then they're going to continue to come out with stuff like this. And if people out there aren't like myself and other channels who expose the Freemasons and the Jews and all this, all these frauds, the fake Jews, I should say, then what they're going to do is they're going to start buying into the propaganda that, the Masons are just, it's like the Boy Scouts frattle. It's like a fraternity. And it's not. It's not. I read you some of these quotes from the books that they read about Lucifer being God. Even mentions of the Kabbalah. I mean, you have Arthur Edward Waite, 33rd degree Freemason, talking about Lucifer as Emperor Lucifer, Master and Prince of rebellious spirits. You see the guy with the pentagram. These people are Satanists. They are occultists. That's what they are. It is a front. Just like the Satanic Church and the Satanic Temple. It's a front. Oh, we're atheists, but, tonight we're going to have a bloodletting ritual. Huh? Oh, you're an atheist, but you're doing a bloodletting ritual? You got a Baphomet statue as your logo and a pentagram? Oh, yeah. Hold on one second. I was just born yesterday. Let me go get my baby bottle. Who's buying it? None of us should be buying it anymore. We shouldn't be taking it either. I'm sick and tired of these people. You should be sick and tired of them. We all should be. Sick and tired of being their slaves. And even if that's not bad, how about it's just being sick and tired in general with the chemicals they keep dumping on us and getting away with dumping on us. It's sick. We have to fight back. Ephesians 5:11, like I said, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. It is shameful to even mention what these people do in secret. And it is shameful. It's embarrassing. So as they continue to shine light on their darkness, like the Satanic Temple, like Freemasonry, they're going to convince the masses that it's a misconception, people like us are crazy lunatics, and that they're not doing anything wrong. All you have to do is go through their teachings. Why are they doing it in secret? Ask yourself that. Think about it. Why are all these world leaders Masons? The joke's on everyone else, and we're not buying it. Sorry I went on a rant. I've just had all I can take of this stuff coming out of the darkness into the light, but then twisting it and deflecting it because I know what's coming. This is going to be normal. Freemasonry. More and more people are going to join. And then when people like me call it out, they're going to go, oh, you're crazy. Same as Satanism. There'll be bloodletting rituals probably done in after-school Satan programs. That's why we have to constantly be on their backs. We can't let them bully us. We got to bully them back. And I got no problem bullying them back. I thank you for listening to today's show. I'll keep everybody updated on what's going on. I'll leave my Patreon link down below. I appreciate any support and help. And those of you who have already, it is beyond appreciated. I'm so grateful. I'm keeping everyone in my prayers. Hopefully, we'll get through all this nonsense. I'm not going anywhere, so don't worry about it. They ain't bullying me. Okay, that's one thing I'll tell you for sure. I didn't get bullied my whole life, and I'm not going to get bullied now. So any contributions anyone wants to make, I appreciate it. I thank you again so much. God bless all of you and your families. Peace be with you.